Welcome back. Much like last time, I'm escorting a pair of transports to Black Main Base, but this time the Victory has come out to the jump point to meet them, so I've got to fly over here and link autopilots. This is a bit strange if you think about it, because last time around the Victory was at Black Main Base, so presumably we're now retracing our steps with these transports and going back the way we came. Despite this, we're still going to run into a fairly large Kilrathi contingent, so I guess they must have got out of the Victory's way and then flown back to where they were. This mission marks our first encounter with these guys.
Break and attack.
The Sorthak Super Heavy Fighter. It's, well, what I said, it's a Super Heavy Fighter. It's not particularly sort of advanced by comparison with the Excalibur, but it's very big and it's got a lot of guns, especially in its rear arc, and it's got powerful shields and armour. It's not something you want to take on your own in a Thunderbolt, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing at the moment. The basic plan here is I'm using Leech missiles, which drain a target's energy, so their engines, their weapons, their shields. That means that the first Sorthak, which I leeched, is going to struggle to get to the transports to do any damage, so Hobbs and I can now concentrate on this one. And it also means they're much easier targets to hit because they're moving slower. Though I'm not sure I actually got this one because it displays a lot of manoeuvrability for a leeched ship. You'll see when I go around to fight the other Sorthak how helpless a ship is when it's been properly leeched. I don't normally use the Leech missile because why would you use a missile to make it easy for you to kill a ship when instead you could just use a missile to kill the ship? But the Sorthak's got so many hit points that it's not really practical to destroy it using missiles, so the Leech is the next best solution. If I'd had 8 missiles in an arrow or 12 in an Excalibur, I might have considered another solution, but Leeches are definitely the way in a Thunderbolt. So this has been leeched and it's basically stationary. A leeched ship can move on afterburners, but it doesn't have any drive power, at least not from about 30 seconds after it's been hit. It's a gradual decay of power. So we've got another 2 Sorthak here, and it's the same idea again, leech one of the fighters and then we can concentrate on the other one. You don't really want to spend any time tailing a Sorthak because of that quad meson gun turret I spent a lot of time avoiding. It does an awful lot of damage. So hanging around in its rear aspect, if it's got any chance of hitting me, is a very bad plan. That there shows you one of the problems with the Leech, which is that since the ships basically stop dead, you are in great danger of colliding with them. This does not do a Thunderbolt any good when the ship you're colliding with is a Sorthak. Right, that concludes our introduction to the Sorthak. They were very dangerous unless you leech them, is basically what we can establish from that.
What's your status?
We're still in decent shape.
Transport's still in a reasonable condition. That's important because there's 2 more fights to come, and both of them contain fighters that will go straight for the transports. This first set are 8 Stracker, that's 2 waves of 4.
Break and attack.
They're somewhat notable in that half of those ships do actually go for the transports. It's the only time I can really remember Stracker going heavily after something you're escorting rather than you. It makes them a bit more of a threat. The Stracker's very small. Ow, that was a friend or foe missile that I hadn't noticed. Anyway, yes, Stracker are small, and that means that it would normally be quite hard to hit, but as it has a habit of flying straight at you and not dodging, it's not normally something that you have to worry about too much. Like so. But these Stracker are less prone to do that because they're not targeting you, they're targeting the transports, which can make them a lot harder to kill. The other thing that makes this particular set of Stracker harder to kill is that I appear to have forgotten how to shoot straight. I think it's been pretty obvious across this LP that I've been improving at the game as I get more used to it again, but while most of that improvement's been use of missiles, tactics, and so on, I think my gunnery has overall got better. But this was horrible. This was right back to the start and in standoff mode, where you can get so close and stay so close that accuracy is unnecessary. I left this section of edited lowlights in so as not to give the impression that my gameplay isn't still substantially a work in progress. But I did have to cut bits of this out simply because it took me so long to stop shooting badly. Fortunately, the fact that I can't shoot to save my life at the moment doesn't matter because I don't have to be able to shoot straight to save my life right now. In terms of times to have a total failure of accuracy while there's only one Stracker left is pretty much top of the list because Strackers are not a significant threat. And in the end, Hobbs is perfectly capable of dealing with it, none of which excuses shooting like that, but what can you do? Well, shoot better, I suppose. Oddly enough, as soon as these two are gone, I do start shooting better. So either those Stracker had some strange accuracy removing field about them, or I just started paying attention again. But for whatever reason, my accuracy is just fine for the rest of the video, so that was just a brief aberration. Of course, when they fly straight at you, it makes it somewhat easier. Now, these transports, when they start saying that, are in fairly bad shape, at least in one of their areas. The normal situation when you hear that, it basically means you're in pretty serious trouble, because with a Pactan bomber around, that means that whatever's saying that's not going to last very long. Around Strackers, it's a much less serious situation, both because Strackers have a lot less firepower and because Strackers have a habit of cloaking at the end of their attack runs, meaning that they spend much longer between attacks and therefore ships get a chance to regenerate some shields. And fortunately this time Hobbs got the last Stracker rather more quickly, therefore saving me having to miss it for ages.
Sighted enemy craft, Colonel.
The final set of enemies
Break and attack.
Engage an enemy now.
in this mission are Vaktoths, two pairs of fighters. The first pair is very easy to deal with because they're quite happy to engage Hobbs and myself, so I don't have to worry about the transports at all. And if you are good enough to get this far through Nightmare, you're never going to have trouble with Vaktoths. They turn so slowly that whenever they're setting up for an attack on you, it's basically telegraphed. And it's very easy to hit them as they turn. And because you've started hitting them, the AI thinks it's under heavy attack and it needs to break away, so it doesn't tend to shoot back that much, all of which makes head-to-head passes extremely easy, provided that you're accurate and don't do what I did, slightly miss there. But even then, I hit it with my second burst and that was enough to get it to break off. Also, because they turn so slowly, you can generally hit them as they're turning away from you as well as when they're turning towards you. So you can kill a Vaktoth from either side. And indeed, Hobbs isn't having any more trouble than I had with mine. I mean, I was a bit quicker, but not quick enough that I could get over here and steal his kill before he got it. But these two will pose slightly more of a problem because they're going to ignore me and go straight for the transports, which, as we already know, are not in the best of shape. Now, I'm going to leech them, but it's not actually going to have that much effect, because the leech missile, as I said when I was using them on the Sorthak, doesn't affect afterburners, and that's how these Vaktoths are heading towards the transports. So what I have to do is to put enough holes in their rear shields to cause them to break off, and since the Thunderbolt's speed advantage over the Vaktoth is nowhere near enough to make up for having to turn around to chase them, that requires some fairly accurate long-range shooting. Once you've got them to break, it's trivial, but it is certainly possible to lose transport to the Vaktoths if you can't do that. Not that it matters hugely, you can succeed at this mission with one transport down. Presumably, High Command anticipated the loss of transport, and so sent sufficient supplies to Blackmain that it would be enough if either one of them got through.
Thanks for the escort, Colonel.
Mission objectives accomplished.
Anyway, we're done with fighting for this mission, so I'm just going to fly through Blackmain at full afterburner because I can, and possibly to trigger descent flashbacks from anybody who played it. And then that is it for this mission, so you can enjoy the landing sequence, which includes the major victory ending. I don't know why, you just always get it on this mission.
Need clearance, TCS Victory.
Blackmain says they can take it from here, Colonel. Our next stop is downtown Kilra, or something close to it. You're cleared to land.
Thanks for watching, I have been Alanin, this has been Wing Commander 3, Heart of the Tiger, and I'll see you next time when, as Rollins says, we're going on the offensive.
Good job, Colonel.
Thank you, sir.
Great mission.
Thanks.
Way to go, sir. Outstanding.